Okay, we'll get going today. Don't want to take too much of your time, but weight loss is always something that's on people's minds, especially the first of the year. You know, we make our New Year's resolutions and we want to improve our lives, and weight loss is a good thing. I've lost a lot of weight. I'm down at a weight that is sustainable, feels good. I'm not carrying around any extra body fat, so it's, you know, a good thing. I've got up as high as 260 pounds at my worst. That was in 1987, and that's the same year I got malignant melanoma. And I did a parasite cleanse, and Asiatic tea, cat's claw, you know, a lot of different things to get rid of the parasites and the tumors, the cancer. And I lost 40 pounds in 2 months, which was pretty amazing. I probably had 40 pounds of parasites in my system. And my gut went down, I got down to 220, and kind of maintained 220 for about 10 years, and actually felt pretty good. But then about 7 years ago, found a lot of people were trying to lose weight and they couldn't. And so this lady said to me, well, we're giving shots of HCG. She actually was working for me, and she was working at a clinic where they were giving shots of HCG. And she says, well, you're smart. Why don't you make some of this with your homeopathics? And so I did. This was 7 years ago. And it was amazing. I intuited a weight loss drops, and I put in it the HCG energy at different dilutions and potencies, and then added TSH to keep the thyroid strong, because when you're losing weight, usually your thyroid poops out, and so TSH stimulates the thyroid. And then I was told to put HGH in it, which is human growth hormone energy. So I did that. And then it was kind of an evolution. I put some appetite suppressant energies in it. And then finally, there's some people were getting shots of MIC, which is methionine, inositol, and choline. And these shots of this amino acid help people lose weight. So I actually put the energy of the MIC in the formulation. And so it evolved over the years to the formula that I sold until about 2 years ago. And then I added some other stuff, and it didn't work as well, because it was just too much energy and kind of confusing. So I went back to my original formula that I had 3 years ago, and it's working great. I took it and shed off another 30 pounds, well, 34 pounds. So I'm down to 185, 186. I weigh that every day. My leptin receptors reset, and I stay that weight. And everybody looks at me and go, Dr. Porter, you're too skinny, because they remember me being fatter. And I guess I looked healthier when I was fatter. I don't know. But they all say, oh, you're too skinny. But I feel good at this weight, and it's a good weight for me. And I can run and play and jump and not, you know, have too much weight on my bones. So these weight loss drops are an integral part. And let me tell you why. A lot of us, the leptin receptors in our hypothalamus, they hold our set point. And what the HCG drops do is they change your set point. They actually turn that off so you can actually start losing weight. Very important point, because a lot of people, they'll diet, they'll cut out their calories, and they won't lose weight because their leptin receptors are still at a set point where they're at. And so one of the things I like about the weight loss drops is it changes your set point. The other thing I like about the drops is it helps your pituitary gland. It helps sustain the HGH, the TSH, which is thyroid stimulating hormone. HGH is a human growth hormone. And it also helps sustain the pituitary so you sleep better, and it makes your fats turn into ketones, which makes weight loss easy. Now, the way you stop the ketone process is by eating sugars. Because anytime you eat sugar, it turns off the ketones. Now, in diabetics, they can't use the sugars, and so they they go into a ketosis because they can't use the sugars and they pee them out. And that's hard on your system because the sugars can make carbohydrate complexes and attach to the nervous system and cause neuropathies and all kinds of problems. And so what you want to do is keep your sugar levels low by not eating sugars and turn your fats into ketones. Because ketones is the only way you can burn off fats is turning the fats into ketones. That's the only way you can get rid of fat. And the only ways that you can do that is go into a fasting mode or use HCG, because that turns it in without going into a fasting mode. Any questions up to this point?
So the HCG I bought maybe 2 years ago isn't as effective?
If you still have it, bring it in and we'll recharge it for
okay.
free. Because over time, the potency of the energy can dissipate because it's radiating this energy out. Now, the things that hold the energy, there's alcohol, grain alcohol will hold the energy. And I found gin and vodka is the best, cleanest ethanol to hold the energy, or pau de arco. Now, with the original one, I made it with the gin because the gin tested the best. Now, if you're taking it on a plane, a lot of the equipment they use to screen people can dissipate the energy and change the energy. And so I started using pau de arco. And pau de arco holds a charge even despite all their x-ray machines and different scanning devices. And so I started making a lot of it with pau de arco, because that'll hold the charge for a long time. But yours is probably the gin with the energy. So bring it in, we'll recharge it. Now, one of the things I found when you go into a ketosis, they call it acidosis ketosis, because the ketones are actually fatty acids and they are acidic, which means they make your pH lower. Now, when your pH is lower, your body has to compensate, and usually the kidneys will lose potassium to compensate for the pH. And so you'll lose potassium with the ketones. And so I always replace potassium, because over the years, potassium is very essential. When you get too low of potassium, your heart can stop. So you want to keep your potassium levels normal. So I usually have people take herbal potassium. I don't like potassium chloride because it puts too much chlorine and chloride molecules into your body, and those are toxic. And so I use potassium gluconate, potassium protonate, and we have all those products. Most medical doctors, they prescribe potassium chloride. We had a guy come in, well, your mom's friend, and he was taking too much chloride. He was taking magnesium chloride and potassium chloride, and his chloride levels were going too high, and that's toxic for your body. And so we switched him over to the gluconate, and his doctors are having fits. They're like, oh, you've got to take our potassium. And it's like, they don't understand the molecular structures, and fluoride and chloride and all those are toxic to the body. They're halogens on the chemical scale, and they're really hard on the body. They cause oxidation, they cause acidosis, they cause all kinds of problems. So I use the good herbal potassium, which does not cause problems. And that replaces that main element that you lose that can cause problems with your heart. So I always recommend, if you're going to go on the drops that put you into a ketosis, and that's the only way you can lose weight, is either going into a fasting ketosis or a ketosis induced by the HCG. And take at least 3 99 milligram. Way back, they wouldn't let them do 100 milligram as an herbal product. And so the herbal industry had to lower it 1 milligram to keep in compliance with the FDA. So it's 99 milligrams, and I recommend taking that 2 to 3 times a day. Now, our bodies give us an indication when we're low on minerals. And if you have your calves start getting painful, that's a sign you're too low on potassium. So if you're laying there at night and your calves are aching, you need to get your butt out of bed and take some potassium because that's a sign you're too low on potassium. If your thighs are tender, that's calcium. If your feet are tender, that's magnesium, a deficiency in those. So little tidbits of information I've learned over the years. If your entire leg's aching, you better take a multi-mineral, you know. And if the buttocks is hurting, that's more of a zinc deficiency, believe it or not. I've had spasms in my butt before, and it's a lack of zinc. So, you know, taking a multi-mineral when your legs are aching is a really good thing. But potassium is real important, and you will get that indication with your calves aching.
What about sciatic?
Sciatica is a nerve problem, and usually due to lack of minerals, and your sciatic nerves get pinched. So I would take a multi-mineral for sciatic even. Okay, so let's move on.
How long would you have to fast to get your ketones to kick out?
Well, 24 hours.
Oh, that'll
You have to fast for 24 hours to start getting into a ketosis.
Just
and-
fast, can you still have water?
Yeah. Fasting just means cutting out your food. A lot of people, you know, here in Utah think it means cutting out food and water, but cutting out your water is not good for you. So always drink plenty of water when you're doing any kind of weight loss or, you know, fasting. Drink plenty of water. So we talked about minerals a little bit. Now another thing I like that adds minerals is emergency. You know, it adds minerals back into your system, plus vitamin C, and both of those are really good. Vitamin C is a weak acid and actually helps you alkalinize your body, and it's a very good antioxidant. So, but we use Emergency Light because the regular Emergency has glucose in, sugars, and it'll pull you out of the ketosis.
What does the light have, though?
The Emergency Light has xylitol.
It isn't.
But not aspartame.
No.
Yeah, you don't want to take aspartame because aspartame's bad. Okay, the reason it's bad is it's an artificial sweetener that hyperexcites the brain and can actually make you hungrier. Okay, magnesium supplements help too. Go ahead.
What about stevia?
Stevia is excellent
Okay.
because stevia is natural and 0 calories, but it's sweetened. Anytime your brain gets a signal of sweet, though, the brain does tell your pancreas put out a little bit more insulin. So any kind of sweetener, be aware it can make you a little bit hungry. So I recommend to people, you know, use the sweeteners as you need, but don't overdo it because it can make you hungrier. By telling your pancreas, you know, you're going to get a sweet load, because anytime you taste something sweet, it signals the pancreas put out insulin. So, okay, so magnesium. I want to talk a little bit about magnesium because magnesium is a softening element. Calcium is the hardening element. So if you're getting hardening of the arteries, you're getting too much calcium in your system. So you soften that by taking magnesium, and magnesium can soften things really good. Softens the stool even. If you're getting too much calcium, you can get constipated, whereas if you're getting plenty of magnesium, it makes you looser, helps loosen the stools. So taking a magnesium supplement if you are get constipated is very important during weight loss. And I like the magnesium citrate because citric acid turns into vitamin C in the body. Another thing that's really nice is to use lemons or limes or grapefruit, believe it or not. All of the citrus is very good for alkalinizing the body, protecting you from viruses, but the nice thing about citrus is it helps you lose weight. It helps get off excess weight, and they're very loaded with potassium, and particularly oranges are loaded with folic acid. Now they do have some sugars, but they're good sugars, and But that's why I use lemons and limes and grapefruit more than oranges, because they're better for weight loss. So, using a lemon a day, and they're weak acids which turn into strong base in your body, which means it alkalinizes the body. Okay, now the body likes variety. And I highly recommend 2 fruits a day during any kind of weight loss, because your body needs the flavonoids and the different nutrients from the fruit to give your body what it needs when you're in a dieting mode and when you're doing weight loss. And I found variety is the best thing, like do a grapefruit in the morning and an apple in the afternoon, or a pear in the afternoon. But I really like citrus in the morning because it kind of jump starts your immune system and gets that going. And eat the fruit at least 6 hours apart so it can utilize everything better. Now, the other thing is eat different foods. Now, when I did mine, I like getting protein in the morning and protein at dinner. Protein in the morning helps feed your body, helps keep your muscles strong. The protein is very important during weight loss, because if you don't get the proteins in, you actually can burn up your muscle tissue. And we're just trying to burn fats. So eat proteins, and that keeps your muscles strong. And I would eat 2 eggs in the morning and then a piece of steak at night. And it doesn't have to be big. Only 3 ounces, which isn't very much. But you need 2 eggs and 1 piece of protein at night. You can do fish, you can do chicken, you can do beef. Like last night, I've been craving meat. And so last night I bought a bunch of steaks, and everybody just went crazy because our family's kind of vegetarian, and having a little bit of meat every now and then, everybody just oohs and ahs. And
Did they want it?
Oh yeah, yeah, and especially if you're an O blood type, or you've got half of your gene pool is O, you need a little bit of red meat every now and then. I get really weak if I go 3 weeks without eating any red meat. I get weak. And so I know when I'm getting weak, I need to eat a little bit of meat. And last night I had some meat, and I feel really strong today, which is cool. So now the other thing is, read all your labels. Avoid sugars, because they can take you out of the ketosis. Starch turns into sugars. Yeast actually has elements that make you want to gain weight. Like I deal with people every day that have yeast in their system, and usually they're overweight because of the yeast. Because yeast makes you crave sugars and puts you into a mode where it makes you gain weight. So adding yeast to your diet is actually detrimental, because yeast is fungus, and you end up feeding it. And even if it's dried yeast or whatever, it turns into real live fungus. So now oils, there's good oils and bad oils, and I have a list, if you'd like, of the good oils and bad oils, because it's important to stay away from the bad oils, because they make you hold on to fats. The good oils actually tell your body you got plenty of oil and you can lose fats.
What about real butter?
Real butter is a good oil, believe it or not. Ghee is even better than butter. So
What?
ghee has had the oil, the fatty casein removed from it. So ghee is butter, but it's had the casein removed. The casein is, is what they make cheeses and stuff out of, and casein is not good for losing weight. It can make you gain weight. So now, number 10 on here, I've got check your body for ketones. I never do that, because you can tell if you're peeing and you're making bubbles and it smells like, ketones, you're in a ketosis. So you don't have to check your levels. Now, the foot detox, I found that as you burn fats, we store a lot of our toxins in fats, chemicals and toxins, and they're fatty soluble, and we store it in our fats. So if you're not able to lose weight, you probably got a lot of toxins in your body. So it's good to get rid of those toxins. And the queen of foot detox just arrived. She goes around and helps everybody do the foot detoxing. We started doing it, 4 years ago?
Yeah. 3-4 years ago.
And so we started carrying the foot detox machines because they help pull these heavy metals and toxins out of your feet and redistribute them from your body. And we found using the foot detox, it helps you lose weight. So it's a nice way to detox your body and get rid of those toxins.
Like 2 times a week or so? Or?
I do it 2 times a week. I wouldn't do it more than that, just because you don't want, it does pull some electrolytes out too, and so you want to let your body kind of, balance itself. And so about every 3 to 4 days, do a foot detox. The other thing, non-caloric fluids. You want to flush your body out, so drink a lot of water. I would end up getting salt depleted. Now, by salt depleted, I mean in electrolytes. And electrolytes are all the minerals, and our blood has a lot of sodium in it, whereas our cells have a lot of potassium. So you've got to replace both. So what I would do is I would use real salt. I would put a half a teaspoon per quart of water I was drinking, because if I didn't, I'd get real dry. Because if you drink too much water, you can actually pee out all of your electrolytes. So taking in the potassium is really important, but using a little sea salt in your water helps maintain your electrolytes. Either that or use emergency.
Do you have to do that if you're using the Enagic water?
The Enagic, the thing people don't understand about alkaline water is you use minerals, mineralized water, and it pulls the acid out of the water. Well, most of the acid is protons. That's what you're pulling out when you're alkalinizing. Now, protons, the pH is proton activity, and so, when you're pulling protons out, it actually makes the acid come out of the water. Now, in that process, you can pull some of the minerals out and change some of the minerals. Like my machine gets clogged up because it pulls out a lot of the minerals, but it keeps the calcium in the water. And the calcium clogs everything up. And here in southern Utah, we've got a lot of minerals in the water, especially calcium. So what I found, for every cup of alkaline water, drink 3 cups of regular water.
Of just 7.0 water?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you're ever taking pills or medications, use regular pH water, because the alkaline can actually make them come out stronger in your body. And so I love alkalinated water, but I've been recommending to people one to every 3 cups of regular water, because you can imbalance your electrolytes by using too much alkaline water.
Especially if it's the 9.5.
Yeah.
A lot of people drink constantly. I think
Yes.
that's probably not good.
Yeah, exactly. And it can impede weight loss, because you're messing up your electrolytes and your system, and so you can't go into a natural ketosis as easy. Okay. Now let's talk about, let's stay on water fluids for a bit. Putting lemon in water, really good. Putting some salt in the water. Doing the Master Cleanse fluid is really good, because the maple syrup adds some B vitamins, it adds electrolytes, it does give you good, long, low glycemic sugar that doesn't impact the weight loss. So I recommend doing Master Cleanse. Make it up, but don't, not get your proteins in. But go ahead and mix that up and drink it, because it helps the weight loss. Okay. Now, when we talk about foods, it takes a minimum of 23 days to reset your hypothalamus and the leptin receptors. So I would take the weight loss drops for at least 23 days. Stay real strict for at least 23 days. You don't have to go on 500 calories. You just have to cut back on the sugars, mainly, and bad fats. Stay away from bad fats and sugars and detox. Do the foot detox. Cheating makes it so the hypothalamus doesn't get reset. Like if you see a candy bar, you eat it, you got to start over again. So just know that's a part of the process. I recommend people stay on the weight loss drops until they're at the weight they want to be at, because when you go off, that's when it resets. So you'll stay at that weight. Okay. Now, maintenance, you want to stabilize the hypothalamus. And so for 3 weeks, you can eat what you want, but stay away from sugars and starches. Because the sugars and starches can make you start to gain weight again. So I would do that for at least 3 weeks after you go off the ACG. So anyway, and only weigh yourself once a week. When you get on a scale every day, it puts your cortisol levels through the roof because you're all freaking out. Because, I'm not losing what I should be, and it freaks you out. So only weigh once a week. And you'll find if you weigh once a week, you do lose weight. It's pretty amazing. You got to keep your stress levels down, though, and looking at your weight every day just puts your stress levels up. Stress does impede weight loss. Stress, especially chronic stress, messes with your adrenal glands, make you produce cortisol, and cortisol makes you gain weight, especially belly fat, buffalo hump, rounded face, those kind of things. That's a sign of constant stress. Okay. Now, B complex and Ultra B. I love the Ultra B12 because it's liquid. It actually absorbs right into your mouth, into your bloodstream. The capsules go down your gut. They get metabolized, change into other things, and you don't absorb them as well, and you just pee them out. But the Ultra B12 I found absorbs good and it stays in your system. But I recommend replacing B vitamins because as you're dieting, it helps your adrenals stay out of the cortisol production, and it also helps give you energy. It helps your nervous system. It's very good for your body. So definitely take B vitamins or Ultra B. Now the other thing that's important is it does wake you up, so don't take them at night. Now, one of the things I've learned. Oh, go ahead.
It's waving here. What about a good emotional attitude?
Yeah.
I remember a doctor taught a class once I went to, and he was into this kind of stuff. And, you make a mistake and you ate something. Oh my gosh! Now I've gained 5 pounds. Your body will work itself to death to get 5 pounds on you by the next day.
Yes.
Because you expect it. You knew that you did it, and now you're going to gain 5 pounds, and you do.
Yes.
Yes.
So quit beating yourself up. I agree totally. Just love yourself. Stand in front of the mirror. I love you, Scott. Whatever it takes to love yourself, because when you love yourself, it calms your system down and helps align you with your spirit, your soul. And so, a lot of weight loss is due to emotional disturbance, emotional stuff, and releasing that really helps. So, the other thing I was going to mention is black tart cherry juice helps produce melatonin. And taking a little bit around 7, 8 o'clock at night helps you produce more melatonin, helps you sleep better. And it won't impede the weight loss. So, now another reason you can't lose weight, you're all going to be able to lose weight, is parasites and fungus. So I recommend doing a parasite cleanse to start, and it's good for your body, keeps cancers away, helps get rid of the hormones that parasites produce. Most parasites, there's a couple that make you lose weight, and I think you're really stupid to get them put into you to lose weight because then they get into your tissues and cause cancer. And there's actually people going to doctors that are giving them parasites to lose weight, and I think it's really stupid.
That used to be a
Yeah.
thing.
And what I've found is killing the parasites is better because it gets rid of their hormones, it gets rid of the things that they cause, the problems they cause. It also releases the chemicals because they have a lot of chemicals in them. They take on some of the toxic load, and getting rid of them and doing the foot detox or some kind of detox really helps you lose weight. Okay, and getting rid of fungus. helps you lose weight, because fungus likes a bigger body to parasitize, and they also make you crave sugars. They can take over your brain. I call them the Borg because resistance is futile. And so, anyway, does anybody have any questions? I know I went through a lot of information really fast.
Is eating mushrooms a bad thing or a good thing?
Eating mushrooms during weight loss is bad. Just because fungus is fungus is fungus. Mushrooms are fungus, a type of fungus. Currently, the planet Earth has a layer of fungus over the entire planet. And it's because we have had so many chemicals, and fungus is the only thing that can survive these chemicals, a lot of them. And so getting rid of the fungus out of our body actually helps us and helps the planet. Go ahead.
The fungus, though, is the one thing that can actually take on and transform toxic, like radiation waste. Like at Chernobyl, they found that the only thing that's growing there is black fungus.
Yeah, black fungus, though,
Yeah.
which is bad.
Yes, but it's still surviving. Like it's able to do something with the radiation.
Yes.
So it's like a one tiny step in the positive direction. So like the fungus, with mushrooms has the ability to take on that stuff and pull it out. I mean, like if it's like if you have radiation in your body or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but for weight loss,
Yeah.
fungus is bad. Cancer, I put a lot of people on, maitake or different chaga, different funguses, because fungus can kill cancer and remove toxins. However, it doesn't help you lose weight. So, because when I got my cancer, I was loaded with black fungus, and so malignant melanoma is a combination of parasites and fungus. So I had to get rid of the fungus, and then I lost weight. So interesting
You talked
stuff.
about stress creating the stomach fat and the hump and everything. Is there something specific besides the HCG, like there's certain foods and other things that we should avoid too for stomach?
Well,
What causes
sugar
disproportionate?
causes stress. Sugar causes stress on our body. Lack of B vitamins is stressful for our body. Because you get these, your hangnails and all kinds of stuff when you're lacking B vitamins. So you're getting hangnails, you need to take more B vitamins. The ridges on your nails, more B vitamins. If you're getting these little white places, it's white fungus, candida, and different things. So, if your fingernails are having any kind of problems at all, increase your B vitamins, decrease your sugars, all those kind of things. Real important. Now, getting back to the stress. Emotions cause most of our stress. And so having a good attitude, just loving yourself, being happy, joyful, I choose to be happy. That's one of the things I learned. That's why I've got this hanging up back here, is choose to be happy, because happiness helps you lose weight, believe it or not. I chose to be happy 2 years ago, and that's when I started losing weight again. And it also helped my pancreas. And the pancreas produces your insulin and your enzymes and many other substances that have to do with your sexuality, your adrenal glands. I mean, it's amazing how many things our pancreas produces that are important for our life. And so by making your pancreas healthier, you actually can maintain a better, healthier body. And it's interesting, this one gal that got pancreatitis the same time I did, she was overweight and got, the mycoplasma that got dropped on us, and it caused us both to get pancreatitis. Anyway, she used to be a weightlifter and just a really strong body. And when the pancreatitis hit, man, our muscles kind of went to crap, and we got really weak. And in Chinese medicine, the pancreas is part of the liver. And it's interesting because we took supplements to help our liver and our pancreas, and it helped bring our muscles back, helped make us strong again. Now, when you're strong, you can handle stress better. So getting out and walking is real important while you're losing weight. Get some circulation going, get some exercise. You don't have to do heavy, stressful things, because if you do stressful things, again, it's too stressful, causes problems with your adrenal glands. So just kind of take it easy, walk, do easy things that give you pleasure. Like the other day, I went down to the river and walked across the bridge. I did it for more reasons than just recreation. Somebody was casting a spell on me, and you can remove spells by walking over a bridge and back. And so I went down, and it was great, because not only did I remove the spell, but it relaxed me, put me in a better mood getting outside and walking. And so do those kind of things, because it really helps. Probably opened up a whole can of worms talking about that, but it's interesting, because people will say nasty things and cause spells to be cast on you, and you can remove them by going on a bridge over water and back. Will remove the spells and stuff. So I recommend that to everybody. Do at least once a week, because you never know when you're getting hit by crap, So anyway. Another thing interesting about the adrenal glands is they produce the hormones that help balance your minerals in your body. They call them mineral corticoids. There's the cortex of the adrenal, or the middle. The cortex is the outside, the medulla is the inside, and they produce mineral corticoids. The outside produces the adrenaline, norepinephrine, those kind of things, and produces the cortisol when you're all stressed out. So getting the minerals in actually helps your adrenal glands be more relaxed and less stressed. So keeping those adrenal glands healthy is real important for weight. And we live in a stressful society, so definitely.
That bentonite clay, is that a good source
Bentonite
of
is a
minerals,
good
or is
source
that
of
one
minerals.
Yeah,
It's a good source of minerals. And you have to take at least a teaspoon a couple of times a day. The clay can cause a little bit of constipation, so be sure and get some extra magnesium in if because I've found with clays especially, they'll just kind of sit there and they'll get hard, especially if you're not drinking enough water. So make sure you drink plenty of water. Anything else? I think I've talked plenty today. So I'm going to turn this off. What?
That was awesome.
Good. And